Right now on the National Weather Desk, a stormy holiday weekend ahead. The unofficial start of summer brings the threat for rounds of severe weather, even as cleanup continues in tornado-stricken communities.
Seconds after we closed the doors when we knew everything was breaking loose.
We also have snow falling in Montana and significant flooding in New England.
Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Hurricane season is just 8 days away. Forecasters warn it could be among the most active on record.
Is the highest NOAA has ever issued for the May outlook.
And the big chills. Temperatures may be very warm this weekend, but your favorite lake probably isn't.
It's because land heats faster than water, but water retains heat longer once it does begin to warm up.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin from WJLA in Washington, D.C. The unofficial start of summer, it's finally here. While many enjoy great weather, severe storms could hamper your fun in the sun over the long holiday weekend. Robust storms are already popping on radar this morning. Several tornado warnings have been issued in Iowa. Let's go deeper, starting with today's storm threats, which impact 82 million across the country. There is a slight risk of severe storms from Texas to Michigan, including Dallas, Chicago, and Indianapolis. A marginal risk includes Charlotte, Milwaukee, and Atlanta. Storm chances continue Saturday with the greatest risk of damaging storms in Oklahoma and Kansas. East Coast beaches from Delaware to Georgia may also see strong to severe storms. And then on Sunday, the risk is over the Midwest from Missouri to Kentucky. There were 21 tornado reports yesterday in the United States, of which 17 were in Nebraska, and this is one of them. While it may be hard to see, there is significant rotation in the storm. Damage was limited. The National Weather Service has already confirmed a tornado near the town of El Dorado in Oklahoma. Large hail was reported as the storm moved overhead. The twister knocked down power lines and caused minor damage. And here's one more tornado from yesterday. This is 80 miles to the east in Lawton, Oklahoma. There are reports of two twisters that destroyed at least 4 trees, or 4 homes, I should say, downing trees and snarling electrical service. Earlier in the week, a tornado touched down in Temple, Texas, and it was caught on camera. This footage was recorded by a couple's car camera as they took shelter at a nearby restaurant. It shows the tornado approaching in the top right corner of your screen. Then, in a flash, all you see is swirling debris. The storm left behind quite a mess. The National Weather Service says the tornado was an EF2 with maximum winds of 135 miles per hour. It did cause significant damage. Farrah Walton spoke with survivors, including one who was amazed that he actually lived to talk about it.
Terrifying moments as a tornado touches down in Temple Wednesday night. Evelyn Perez and her neighbors now assessing the damage.
It was pretty scary because we heard things outside hitting the door.
My assistant was the one that Dylan said, "Hey, we're going now." Seconds after we closed the doors when we knew everything was breaking loose.
The tornado left behind a path of destruction, from power lines on cars to children's games on the ground from a child care center. This is the door 8 Domino's workers exited from after sheltering in place. Heath Barr is the store's general manager. His immediate thought, how did we even make it?
I mean, there's 2x4s and 2x6s sticking out the side of my building. Half of it's gone. It moved my so many 1,000-pound oven from one side of the store to the other.
Temple Mayor Tim Davis says the damage is extensive.
This was a very strong and devastating tornado. There are many people that lost property, many people that lost homes. There were few injured.
About 150 miles away in Coleman, Texas, residents are picking up the pieces after a severe hailstorm this week. Nearly every window in this house was shattered after quarter to golf ball sized hail fell for nearly 30 minutes. This happened Wednesday afternoon. Another common sight around town, dented cars along with cracked windshields and damaged trees. As tornado recovery was top of mind in Texas, wild weather paid a visit to southern New England. Upwards of 2.5 inches of rain fell across Rhode Island yesterday. Downpours triggered flooding throughout the Providence area, crippling the morning and midday driving commutes. Many streets look more like rivers, with water waist high in some locations. Aaron Coogan reports.
Ooh, it's really flooded. on the highway. Oh my God.
A slow drive on I-95, cars and trucks forced to dodge lake-like conditions behind the wheel. Drivers dealing with low visibility and reduced traction on the roads.
Fun time.
The torrential rains across southern New England, triggering flash flood conditions throughout the region. In Fall River, cars stalled in standing water.
Wow, I've lived 19 years living over here. Never seen anything like this.
The Rhode Island Department of Transportation taking to social media to warn motorists of more than 30 weather-related crashes and road closures.
Oh my God, my car!
Elm Grove Avenue in Providence looking more like a raging river.
The street was completely flooded. People running inside, trying to get in from the rain. Cars going by could not get by. It was pretty crazy. It was at least like ankle deep.
And people, they were taking pictures and videos. Nobody's ever seen anything like it.
And in East Providence, an impromptu rescue. Locals springing into action to assist two people stuck in their car amidst rushing floodwater.
There was two old ladies that got stuck in the car, and they couldn't get out of the car because they had a walker and everything else. I had to help them get out of the car. The neighbors grabbed some blankets because they were freezing. Because down there, it was like almost 4 feet high.
The upcoming hurricane season could be one for the record books. NOAA released an ominous outlook for the 2024 season yesterday, and they didn't mince words.
You have your warm, all the energy in the oceans. We have an active African monsoon, so check. Don't expect a whole lot of shear, check. So you really look at all the different patterns, and they all come together to make this big forecast.
Florida meteorologist Jennifer Collins has details as what to expect this season.
NOAA released their official hurricane season outlook for 2024 on Thursday morning and are calling for an above normal season with 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 of those hurricanes, and 4 to 7 of those major hurricanes. That's a category 3 or higher. Now, this is the highest May forecast ever released by NOAA for the Atlantic Basin. Why are they calling for an above normal season? Well, it's the development of La Nina in the equatorial Pacific. This increases the trade winds in the equatorial Pacific and can actually cause changes to global weather patterns, including in the Atlantic, where it reduces the trade winds there and can reduce wind shear in the Atlantic. This favors storm development. Also, near record warm sea surface temperatures have been recorded in the Atlantic Ocean, and we know tropical systems need warm water to form. So the more warm water there is, it makes it easier to energy and fuel storms that do develop. A reminder, always prepare ahead of the season. Remember, it only takes one storm to bring impacts to your local community, and always stay informed and prepared with the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center.
And coming up in about 5 minutes, we'll speak with a climate scientist about how the upcoming hurricane season will be. In Montana, it still looks like winter. Up to 18 inches of heavy, wet snow fell across western portions of the state. The highest amounts fell at the highest elevations. It's the most snow that area has seen in many, many years, and records for some towns. Snow caused problems on area roadways and led to power outages as well. Things are slowly turning back to normal today, but really pretty out there. The weather is much better in Utah, where the search and rescue crews are preparing for an influx of hikers this weekend. Kristen McPeak has more.
Search and rescue crews tell me they are active all year round so they can keep people safe.
People who have been locked up basically all winter, they're going to want to get out and enjoy this beautiful weather in the mountains that we have in our own backyard. We're always staying on top of what we need to for those particular types of seasons, since we have all 4 seasons here in Utah.
Crews have been training by doing fitness tests, hiking Mount Olympus, and practicing swiftwater rescues, something that Bassam says is important this time of year as spring runoff has waters moving quickly. As for this weekend, Bassam says crews are ready in case any calls come in.
For areas where you're going out and it's a little more remote, certainly thankful to have people around that are able to help you and assist you if something goes wrong.
Severe storms on a wedding day? Well, it's not ideal, right? Well, don't tell that to a couple from Kansas. When stormy skies appeared on Sunday, the couple's wedding photographer found the perfect opportunity to capture a very, very memorable moment.
The straight line winds came through, the wind blew perfectly like how I needed it to blow, and I was like, man, this is just perfect.
And results are photos that have gone viral, with many people commenting how jealous they are of the couple. And coming up on the National Weather Desk, a look at some of the risks that could come with a process known as marine cloud brightening.
I'm meteorologist Charlie Lopresti with a look at the Northeast. We have a nice looking day on tap in the Northeast with a lot of sunshine. There might be a few fair weather clouds here and there, but temperatures, they'll be running in the 80s. We'll have lower humidity with a breezy west to northwest wind during the afternoon. Here we are 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice those 80s with a lack of clouds. Now, as we go into Saturday, it's a few degrees cooler. Temps look a little more seasonable at times. 60s and 70s make an appearance. Some of those showers will try to get in here, particularly in northern New England on Sunday.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Gerard Bailey. Here's a look at the Mid-Atlantic region. Still looking at a chance for a shower or two for your Friday morning, but towards your afternoon, things should dry out a lot. We should actually see a little bit of sunshine to come our way, but the rain chances will continue this weekend as we are continuing to watch the same weather maker bring us good rain chances. Saturday morning, mostly dry, but the evening and afternoon, we'll continue to see good chances for rainfall. Temperatures will still reach the 80s by tomorrow afternoon, a little bit cooler for your Saturday.
I'm meteorologist Vitas Reed. Here's a look at your southeast forecast highs for the day. We're looking at high of in Raleigh, 86 degrees, 85 in Tupelo, Birmingham, 84 degrees, Pensacola at 86 degrees, 92 Jacksonville, 93 in Tampa. A few spotty showers across the Tennessee Valley, moving into South Carolina. Looks like some thunderstorms moving into Nashville and Memphis. A little stronger gusts of storms through Birmingham, and some more activity moving in on Friday night into Saturday to kick off the weekend with a few spotty showers and thunderstorms across the South.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
As we mentioned earlier, NOAA released its 2024 hurricane season outlook yesterday. Emily Gracie sat down with a climate scientist to find out why they are predicting an above average season and why climate change may be one of the reasons why.
We expect that this is going to be an above average hurricane season. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is that there's very warm sea surface temperatures out in the North Atlantic Ocean. It's quite hot out there. It's record breaking temperatures for this time of year right now that we're seeing out in the North Atlantic. And those warm sea surface temperatures mean that there's a lot of available energy for hurricanes to sort of pick up that energy, use them to strengthen and become more intense. There's also the situation where we're moving from an El Nino period into a La Nina period. Well, we know that as we move into a La Nina season, like we're just about to, the wind shear goes down. And so there'll be less opportunities for storms to be arrested by very strong wind shear.
You're with Climate Central. Can you tell me the role that climate change is playing in this?
So we know that hurricanes are kind of like giant heat engines, almost like the engine in your car, actually. As you add fuel to the engine in your car, the car itself starts to move faster. And it's the same with a hurricane. As you add fuel to the hurricane in the form of warm sea surface temperatures that the hurricane encounters, it starts to spin faster and faster. The sea surface temperatures are more than 1 degree Celsius, so more than 2 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than they would have been, say, 100 years ago, or in a world without human-caused climate change. There's been an increase in the amount of Category 3+, so what we call major hurricanes, over the past 40 years. There's a very significant increase in those. A warmer atmosphere like we have right now compared to one without human-caused climate change means a wetter atmosphere. So we're seeing an increase of about 10 to 15% of rainfall associated with hurricanes. We saw this, for instance, with Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Ian. And the final thing is storm surge. We know that sea levels are rising all across the planet, and especially along the United States coast. And higher water levels mean that there's more opportunity for that water to get picked up by hurricanes as they come along and brought on shore in the form of storm surge.
To hear more from Dr. Guilford, including how hurricane tracks are shifting, head over to YouTube to watch the longer version of this interview. Just search the National Weather Desk. You'll find it on our interview playlist. Yesterday, we told you about a process called marine cloud brightening to help reduce carbon in the atmosphere. Today, we bring you part 2 and why some scientists say there are risks that come with the process.
Marine cloud brightening may give us a way to slow global warming in the future, but what kind of side effects could it have? One recent study found that if it's done on just a few areas of the Earth's oceans, it would cool our temperatures down some, but could also really dry out the Amazon rainforest in South America. Another study found that if it's done on a much wider scale across our oceans, it could cool the Earth down even more, actually increase rainfall in the Amazon rainforest a little, but could also lead to drier winters here in California through a localized La Nina effect. And a third study found that by including plants and trees' reactions to the higher levels of future atmospheric greenhouse gases in their simulations, there could actually be less drought because the trees and plants would then require less water to grow. It's clear that there are still many unknowns to think about before we could ever even try marine cloud brightening. However, one thing just about all scientists agree upon is that this would not be a permanent solution to global warming.
It should only be considered as a complement to other efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
For one thing, it could only cool our temperatures down a little. If the large-scale burning of fossil fuels like gasoline and coal continue, carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere will continue to rise, causing the Earth's temperature to continue to rise. This will eventually lead to the Earth's temperature soaring way past any cooling done by marine cloud brightening, so reducing carbon in the atmosphere remains the #1 goal for atmospheric scientists. Another point is that once you start significant marine cloud brightening, one scientist at Stanford University says it needs to be continued until greenhouse gases are reduced significantly.
If we were ever to stop geoengineering after deploying it at high levels, there's a high probability of catastrophically rapid warming.
Warming the Earth's temperature a couple of degrees in a couple of years would be catastrophically rapid warming. Our ecosystems may not have time to adjust to this rapid warm-up, which could lead to disastrous consequences.
As summer approaches, many look forward to taking a splash in local lakes and other waterways, but be forewarned, the water is most likely a lot colder than the air. Meteorologist Violet Schreiber explains.
During spring to early summer, we start to see the land heating up, but the water takes a little bit longer, still feeling cool during this time of the year. But why does this happen? It's because land heats faster than water, but water retains heat longer once it does begin to warm up as we go through the season. Eventually towards fall, it stays warmer than the land does. Why does this happen? Well, looking at an example of water versus air and land as well. Water is a slow conductor of heat, so it takes more energy to heat it up. But it has a higher heat capacity than land, holding on to that heat a lot longer than air and land will. Let's look at an exact example. Lake Ontario, temperatures through the months for an entire year. Obviously, summer is the warmest, winter is the coldest. The coldest that Lake Ontario gets is in the mid-30s as we go towards late winter and early spring. Right now, we're at the end of May, early June. Temperatures are in the 50s. It's not until July, August, September that we start to see temperatures climbing back up into the 70s. So we still have a few months to go. Besides Lake Ontario, looking at some other local lakes, right now Oneida Lake's surface temperature is 53 degrees, Onondaga Lake 57, Otisco Lake 59 degrees, Skaneateles Lake 55, Owasco Lake 56, Cayuga Lake 54, Canandaigua Lake 56, and of course Lake Ontario is still in the lower 50s. So you can take a dip, but maybe not for too long just because it is still cool in the lakes. But later on this summer, you'll be able to enjoy those warmer temperatures.
Let's check the weather across the country. Some popular Memorial Day weekend destinations. We start in Wildwood along the New Jersey shore. The 38-block-long boardwalk includes over 100 rides and attractions. Scattered thunderstorms are in the forecast today with a quieter forecast for tomorrow. Highs will reach the 70s. More than 100,000 fans will fill the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Sunday for the 108th running of the Indy 500. Rain is in the forecast, along with a chance for a few strong to severe thunderstorms. The race has only been completely postponed 3 times since it started in 1915. Next up, the self-proclaimed happiest place on earth, Plan for big crowds and long lines at Disney World in Orlando, Florida. It'll be a hot weekend with highs well into the 90s. And welcome to the Windy City. Chicago's Navy Pier lights up with fireworks on Saturday night and more shows every Wednesday and Saturday throughout the summer. Storms are possible today, but tomorrow it's looking pretty good. Lots of sunshine and high temperatures in the lower 70s. And before we take a short break, we soar over Wisconsin's Renard Island.
Well, very good Friday morning, everyone. I'm meteorologist Andrew Buckmichael. Scattered thunderstorms across the Midwest today, moving their way to the east. And as we continue on into your Saturday, that shifts a little bit more into the Ohio Valley, but a lot of the plains dry for Saturday. Now, Sunday is going to be a very active day for us. We are looking at the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms across the Midwest. Basically, a line of thunderstorms packing quite a punch as it races its way to the east. So stay weather aware Sunday.
Good morning, I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. Here's a look at your regional weather. Temperatures pretty nice, actually, from Little Rock back over to Oklahoma, but you still have some leftover storms out in Little Rock. A little oppressive as you get down toward South Texas, particularly down toward Brownsville. We'll be watching this area for another round of big showers and thunderstorms as the cold front makes its way through. Dry line out to the west would only make things hotter during the day there. I'm meteorologist Alex Garcia. That's a look at your regional weather.
Well, hi, everybody, and good Friday morning to you. I'm meteorologist Shannon O'Donnell. Out west, we have been the cool corner of the country, at least in the PNW, and no change today. In fact, we go lower still, just mid-50s around Seattle, barely getting into the upper 50s around Portland. Rain on the way for Puget Sound and the Willamette Valley versus nearly 100 in the Valley of the Sun, 58 out of Jackson Hole. Reason we're cool in the northwest, here comes another round of rain. And that's the scene from here.
You are watching the National Weather Desk.
If you live in an area that doesn't have a whole lot of light pollution, clear skies this long holiday weekend may have you taking a little sky gazing or perhaps nighttime photography. Meteorologist Matt Monroe has tips for that perfect nighttime shot.
A lot of us got a chance to see the rare northern lights here in America a couple of weekends ago, but that doesn't mean that you missed out completely, because look at some of the stars out here. This is courtesy of Mark Crumpler, who is a viewer and took this picture over the super dark skies of the Sierra Nevada. And look at this. What you're looking at here is the Milky Way rising up and over the valley. Now, the Earth is actually part of the Milky Way galaxy. It's a spiral galaxy with numerous arms. We're in the Orion arm. This is a different arm right here with millions and perhaps billions of stars. Now, if you want a shot like this, you have to do it in the middle of the night. Mark took this picture about 3-4 o'clock in the morning, away from any sort of light pollution from cities, a moonless night and a cloudless night, and you can get a picture just like this. Good luck and happy stargazing.
Are you looking for more great weather content? Be sure to check us out on social media. You can find us on all your favorite platforms. Just search the National Weather Desk. Thank you so much for looking in this morning. I'm glad you were able to join me. I'm meteorologist Steve Rudin from WJLA in Washington, D.C. Have a safe holiday weekend and take a moment to remember those who died while serving in the United States Armed Forces. Good day.